Hello there, and welcome back to Into the Shadows with Danger Buff and BJ.
That's me. Welcome back.
Yeah, we know we missed an episode last week. Blame me because I was sick. Woo. Love being sick. I don't really. Before we continue, I really don't like being sick.
Fair enough.
Yeah, who does? Anyway, in today's episode, we have got some more interesting stories from the last couple days that have been in the news, all sourced from trusted news outlets. We have also got Post of the Week returning, and we also have a guest on the end of today's show. But we'll get into that later.
Yep.
So, if you guys...
Also, we'll talk about our week.
It's the most important thing that I forgot to mention. But, without further ado, just jump into it, guys.
Right into it.
This podcast will include some strong language, and if you're a younger viewer discretion and parental guidance is advised. So, BJ, how has your week been? Or 2 weeks, I guess, since we didn't do an episode last week.
Yeah, my week's been alright. I've been working some more, and in total from the last 3 weeks, I have worked about 79 and a half hours, so I am almost on 100 hours of the 648, I think, that I have to work.
Dang.
I don't know.
Barely scratching the surface.
Yep, barely.
But the most important thing is, do you enjoy it?
Yes, I do. My favorite thing, aside, is cabin search. Because you are actively doing stuff instead of just on the platform looking at a plane and admiring it.
Yeah. You find some crazy things in the cabin, don't you? Or at least...
I haven't yet. I actually missed a drill, so that's great.
Yeah. I don't know if I should tell you this story, but as long as I don't mention the the important details, what's gonna happen, nobody's gonna know. Nobody from my workplace listens to my shitty YouTube videos, so we're all good. So there was one day where I had just started my shift at like 5 a.m. and goes over to the gate, just scheduled to board a flight. Not telling you what flight, where to, whatever. So we were waiting to start actually like boarding, because we were told that one of the guys would come up and tell us when they were ready for us to start boarding. So we were just waiting. It was like 30 minutes, and we're like, damn, this plane should have been out like 10 minutes ago.
Plane delays. God dang it.
You're not gonna like why it was delayed though.
Oh God. Why was it delayed?
So the crew comes off the flight and come up the gate, and they're like, where are the cleaners? And we're like, well, it's this airline, they don't pay for cleaners. Based on that, you could probably work out what airline it is. And we're like, yeah, they don't pay for that. It's you guys that give the cabin a quick clean before we get the next passengers on, and it's just how it works. They're like, well, we're not doing it. And I'm like, well, do you want to tell our supervisors that so we don't get in trouble for the flight being late? Oh, no. And we're like, so why don't you want to do it then? They're like, oh, well, we were doing it. You're like, what's the problem? why didn't you just finish it? And they're like, well, we picked up all the rubbish and stuff that were left in the seats until we come across this bottle that was full of liquids. You know, it's a juice bottle. And we're like, oh, did someone leave it behind? Like, do you want to go get it and we'll hand it to lost property when we're finished? Let's just say we did have to wait for the cleaners that day because the bottle was full of warm liquid. It was a passenger's piss.
Oh, God.
They were sat at a window seat and didn't even think about, oh, this plane has toilets. So peed in a bottle.
I don't think the other passengers like that.
I don't think anybody liked that. We didn't like that, that's for sure. So yeah.
Yeah.
That was how that flight was delayed. We didn't get in trouble for it, obviously, but there was an investigation done by officials and important people that I won't get into, but yeah. Just wait till you find a bottle of piss. You know you're going. You know you're doing something with your life. But anything else been happening?
Well, not really special stuff.
I'm offended.
No.
Reading my script wasn't special.
Well, it was, but
I'm messing.
It's gonna be. If we're gonna talk about it, it's gonna be spoilers.
I'm messing, man. I'm messing. Yeah, my week's been kind of similar. Work made me want to curl up and die, as always.
As always.
I'll tell you this story once we stop recording, because I don't know if I'd probably get away with saying it on the podcast and putting that on YouTube.
I don't know.
Yeah, for legal reasons, I'm not gonna risk that one. Whereas the story I just told you happened like 7 months ago. So, what else has happened with my week? Had a driving lesson. Didn't die.
Oh, me too.
Didn't die. Good start. Then I had...
How many driving lessons have you got so far?
I've had at least 10. I think. I can't remember. I'll check.
My last one was my 5th.
But, and then college. I mean, I love college, like, don't get me wrong.
But it is the homework and the teachers.
But it's it's all done though, it's the summer. I finished, I'm just waiting to hear if I pass. I'm not very hopeful, but... Well...
Me, a 4th year of high school, final exams. Yeah, I barely passed. I had to cross off 2 subjects. And those were economy and German.
Oh, that's... No wonder you failed those. Fucking... 9...
I'm uneconomically gifted.
I'm not.
I don't know if that's a word, but it is now.
I couldn't think of anything worse. Learning about the economy. That makes me feel sick. But
Who cares about economy?
Well,
Only nerds do.
The best of it is I had to write like a 4,000 word dissertation on the German economy in 1933. So I'm kind of good at. I kind of know both classes. They're not good.
Yeah, Hitler rose to power, so...
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that. It might trigger some people.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know who it would trigger, because who watches, like, two teenagers do a podcast via Instagram call? Who listens to that on a Friday afternoon, like, oh, yes, I'll listen to this with my cup of tea. But, you know, they might. I'm grateful if they do, but, I mean, only 17 people listened to the last episode. So...
Yeah, I don't blame them.
We're not doing it for them, we're doing it for us.
Yes. Just like with my music, I'll do it for me.
Yeah. So what?
And I enjoy it.
Haters gonna hate. I don't really care if you do. I'm not forcing you. We're not forcing you to listen to us. That's your choice. But yeah, my week's been questionable. Although I did just watch the new Marvel episode of Secret Invasion that released today. Pleasantly surprised. No spoilers, obviously. But the ending annoys me slightly. But I won't get into that. I'll do that in someone else's Marvel podcast. Or my Instagram story, complaining. Because I complain a lot on Instagram. Mainly just to DJ, but... yeah, sometimes it's others, and I get really dramatic and leave chats and things, you know.
Not the first time.
Not the first time, probably not the last time, but if you know, you know. Anyway,
Yep.
Are you ready for some crazy ass stories I've got for you this week?
I don't know, but we'll see.
Just before we continue, these stories might, if these stories, you find any of them triggering, I do apologise. Again, skip through them. We're not going to force you to listen to them if you don't want to. Because some of the subjects that we're touching on is
touchy.
It's a touchy subject. But let's do this. This is a post-recording update. I sound like shit because I've just woken up. But the story we're about to talk about, the passengers on board have all been found to be dead as oxygen is depleted and the submersible itself imploded. So our thoughts are with all of the families of the loved ones who were infected, and we hope you're seeking the right help, because this is a very tragic event. And this was also recorded last Wednesday. So it was a pretty long time ago we recorded this. So the information is out of date, but we thought we'd keep it in anyway, just because it's part of the podcast.
You.
So we're just going to jump into the stories. So the first story we've got today, you've probably heard it, on the news if you listen, or if you come to us for your news, then that's probably not the best idea, but thank you.
We make fun of the news,
so we do. So the first story, here's the title of the article: Titanic tourist submersible rescuers scan ocean as clock ticks. Well, they're definitely getting the fucking full Titanic experience. That's for sure.
No,
So,
I've not heard that.
if you don't know... Oh no, the link closed. No!
How did you close the link?
Because he went to Smash Bros. So if you guys don't know, there's not that I would find that enjoyable in the slightest, but it's under US and Canada, so I don't know if it's the US or the Canada where it's like based, but This company has started a submarine program that is $250,000 per person to go in this small submarine under the sea to see the wreckage of the Titanic. Now, who thought this was a good idea? So
Titanic?
it was
The movie makers?
by this.
I don't know.
By the it kind of just happened. So it must be like the first time they've done it, but
Probably.
the submarine went missing under the sea. Cue the Little Mermaid song. But so this is a slightly updated story than what it was yesterday, but the BBC, they just keep adding updates, so it's pretty helpful. So let me just scroll down, see if I can find where. Oh, it's quite a short one. That's fine. I'll just read it from the top. So search teams are racing against time to find a submersible undersea craft that went missing during a dive to the Titanic's wreck. Again, what dumbass thought that was a good idea after what happened to the ship?
I don't know.
If you could see my face right now, you'd probably laugh. Not because my face is horrendously scary, but, the face I'm putting. So, 5 people were on board when contact with the small tourist sub was lost about an hour and 45 minutes into its dive on Sunday. Not looking good, guys. Compensation. There was about 40 hours of oxygen left in the sub as of 1 p.m. Eastern Time and 6 p.m. whatever the other time zones in America is. That's a whole other ballpark.
Yeah, I don't understand a lot about time zones, so...
All I know is Chase and Keaton, EST. That's the time zone they're in. Spoiler alert, that might need to be cut out of the edit. So there's only 40 hours of oxygen left on the sub as of BST. That's British time. Bro, am I dumb? On Tuesday. You meant to say no, of course not. Rude.
Oh. I'm sorry. You're dumb.
I'm not crying.
Oh my BB.
I'm not crying.
You're not dumb. I will kneel before you. Because my name is Neil.
The rescue operation has expanded into the deeper waters in the mid-Atlantic, but so far nothing has been found. Damn. The 5... Oh my god, there's names that I might completely fuck up saying, but... The 5 people on board are British businessman Hamish Harding. Of course, such a British name. British Pakistani businessman Shahzada Dawood and his son Suleiman. French explorer Paul Henry Nargolet. That's definitely not French, but who am I to judge? And Stockton Rush, the chief executive of OceanGate, which is the company that operates this. Speaking at a news conference on Tuesday afternoon, Captain Jamie Frederick of the US Coast Guard said, "Crews were working around the clock to find the sub, but so far the search had not yielded any results." He added, "It was a very complex search across an enormous amount of distance." Well, no fucking shit. It's the ocean.
We haven't even explored 100% of the ocean because the pressure deep in the ocean will kill us.
Literally. US and Canadian agencies, navies, and commercial deep-sea firms have all helping the rescue operation, using military planes, a submarine, a sonar, whatever that says, and several private vessels. A commercial pipeline ship, Deep Energy, with remote submersibles has also arrived at the site. Damn. Oceanographer and the world-renowned shipwreck hunter David Mearns told the BBC that he was hopeful of deep energy subs as they could reach 3,800 metres, which is
12,500 feet.
I can see you've got the document open because there's no way you knew that.
Nope, there was no way I knew that. I have the article pulled up right here.
And that was the depth of that was the depth of the Titanic wreck. I think that's what that means. Mr. Mearns knows two of the passengers on board personally, Mr. Harding, 58, and Mr. Nargolet, 77. Oh my god, you guys are brave.
I think the guy with 77 didn't have... Who is 77? Didn't have... Was like, I don't get much... I don't have a longer life. I shall explore the sea.
And the universe had other plans. It went, you don't have a long life left, do you? Yeah. Oh, that's really upsetting. The story that's popped up on the side of it, it's just... I've just read the headline. That was really sad. Mr. Harding is a renowned explorer who has flown to space and holds 3 Guinness World Records. Wow.
Damn.
At the weekend, he said he was proud to finally announce he was part of the mission. Mr. Nargolet is former French Navy officer and diver, also director of underwater research at a company that owns salvage rights to the Titanic wreck. Makes sense. That's a photo of them there. I'll put these in the edit. Titanic's wreck lies some 435 miles, 700 kilometres, south of St. John's, Newfoundland in Canada. Though the rescue mission is being run from the US city of Boston in Massachusetts, because that makes sense.
Apparently it does.
Freaking Americans, man. No offense, guys, but geez. What were you thinking? The US Coast Guard said that research ships, the Polar Prince, which was the support ship on Sunday's tourist expedition, and Deep Energy are continue to search the ocean's surface. It's a submarine, but they're checking the ocean's surface. Well done, guys. Well done. A Canadian P-3 Aurora aircraft is carrying out sonar searches of the area, which, as of Tuesday morning, was more than 10,000 square miles, which is equivalent to 26,900 kilometers squared. Maths, not my strong point. There was also a video that they put out when they had got into the sub, and they basically explained that it's controlled with a game controller, similar to a Sony PlayStation controller. But yeah, it's not looking good from the outset, is it?
Nope.
The missing craft is tour firm's OceanGate's Titan submersible, which CBS journalist David Pogue travelled abroad last year to reach the wreckage of the... so it's been going on a while then. He's told the BBC that when the support ship is directly above the sub, short text messages are able to be sent between the two. Otherwise, communication via GPS or radio system is not available, as neither work underwater. Well done. Smart. Mr. Pogue said it's not possible for those aboard the sub to escape by themselves, as they're sealed inside by bolts applied from the outside. Who would want to do that? Why? Why would you want sealed in a fucking tube and just floating about the sea? No.
Don't do it, you bloody bitch.
A submersible vessel is different from a submarine, according to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. A submarine can launch itself into the ocean from a port independently, while a submersible has very limited power reserves, so needs a mothership that can launch and recover it. Every day's a school day. So there's a photo of it here. It's got one window. Five people on the thing, and there's one window. The length of it is 6.7 meters, 22 feet. It's alright. Capacity, 5 people for 96 hours. They only had 40 hours of oxygen left yesterday at 1. At 1, so it's not looking good.
It isn't.
Hopefully
they're gonna die.
Don't say that. Hopefully they're found. Depth. It can travel 4,000 meters, which is deep, which is that number. 13,123 feet. For y'all Americans that don't know what meters are. Added to this, the fact that the visibility is quickly lost below the surface as the water, surface of the water, as the light cannot penetrate far. Let's go see the Titanic, but have a really crappy light so we can't actually see the Titanic.
People are so dumb in these times, man.
The OceanGate website lists 3 submersibles it owns. Only the Titan is capable of diving deep enough to reach the Titanic wreckage. Of course it is. Because it'd be too easy if the other 2 did.
Did it just say the Titan?
Yeah, that's what the submersible craft's called.
Bro, huh? What did you say? Attack on Titan? God damn.
Garmadon stone thing from Hunted?
The only Titan. What about the Crystal King Centaur Titan thing?
Titans are
I
bad.
don't know.
The vessel weighs 23,000... whatever that means. I just know it in kilograms, which is 10,432 kilograms. I think that's pounds. 23,000 pounds. For y'all Americans. And according to the website, can reach depths of up to 13,100 feet. Tickets cost $250,000. That is equivalent to £195,000 for an 8-day trip, including dives to the wreck at the depth of 3,800 meters. Again, what dumbass wants to do that? It's sunk. Let it be.
Suicidal people want to do that.
Polar Prince expedition to the Titanic wreckage. They estimate that it's at this position. I'll add this photo afterwards, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
On social media at the weekend, Mr. Harding said it was the worst winter in Newfoundland in 40 years. This mission is likely to be the first and only manned mission to the Titanic in 2023. It might be the only manned mission ever. He later wrote, "A weather window has just opened up and we're going to attempt the dive tomorrow. If it's bad weather, why would you... Why?
Because they're dumb.
Clearly. Rich people.
They're old and dumb.
Rich people got no brains. OceanGate has said it's been unable to establish communications with one of our submersible exploration vehicles, but that's the entire focus. And it was on the crew members in the submersible and their families. Love that. We're deeply thankful for the extensive assistance we have received from several government agencies and deep-sea companies in our efforts to re-establish contact with the submersible. The company bills the 8-day trip on its carbon fibre submersible as a chance to step out of everyday life and discover something truly extraordinary. It set sail from St. John's in Newfoundland, in Canada, which each full dive to the wreck, including the descent and ascent, reportedly taking about 8 hours. Well,
what are you going to do in the 8 hours? You're not going to just sit around waiting.
Well, they've been underwater for a lot longer than 8 hours then, haven't they?
Yeah, but still, I cannot imagine going underwater for 8 hours without doing anything. Let's just play some board games or something.
With no lights? Yeah. Just be bats.
Mario Party, let's go.
Let's use our sonar powers. According to its website, one expedition is ongoing and 2 more have been planned for June 2024. Not anymore. They're not happening.
No.
The Titanic... Oh, we're jumping to the Titanic now. The Titanic, which was the largest ship of its time, hit an iceberg on its maiden voyage from Southampton to New York in 1912. Of the 2,200 passengers and crew on board, more than 1,500 died. Its wreckage has been extensively explored since it was discovered in 1985. And that's that for the time being. Now, what are we thinking? What?
You stupid.
It wouldn't be my first choice of activity, that's for sure.
That's for sure. Definitely. I wouldn't mind going on a normal ship and just swimming in the sea, but that takes it to the extreme. God damn.
I have a phobia of the sea, so it definitely wouldn't be my choice of pastime. Especially $250,000 for a ticket. No thanks. I'm good. I could buy a house and be rich with that money. I don't want to go see some. I don't want to go see some boat that sunk over 100 years ago. Why don't they just unsink the boat and just put it in a museum?
Well, I would imagine that there are a ton of ghosts just haunting the Titanic.
Underwater ghosts. But water kills ghosts.
Well, that's Ninjago.
It's the laws of physics.
No. But if water kills ghosts because water is wet, why doesn't ice kill ghosts? It's wet and frozen.
But it's not got enough. It's not liquefied enough. Kai needs to throw a fireball at it first.
God damn it.
Plot armor. Are you ready for the next story?
Yep.
So, for the fourth story, the title of the article, Ecuadorian woman who knocked on coffin at her own funeral has died. Rest in peace.
Rest in pepperonis.
An Ecuadorian woman who surprised relatives by knocking on her coffin during her funeral has died. Bella Montoya, age 76, died on Friday evening from an ischemic. I don't even know how you would pronounce that.
Ischemic, I think? I don't know.
We'll go with that. Ischemic stroke, according to Ecuador's health ministry. Miss Montoya had remained under permanent surveillance since she was removed from her coffin during the funeral. Her son, Gilberto Barbera Montoya, said that his family had yet to receive an explanation to what led to his mother wrongly being declared dead earlier in June. He said that things are not going to stay like this, adding that his mother's sister had formally complained about the incident. In June, Miss Montoya was declared dead after a possible stroke and cardiopulmonary arrest. She did not respond to the resuscitation. The 20 guests at her funeral on June 9th were shocked when they heard Miss Montoya knocking on her coffin. She had spent 5 hours inside her coffin at a funeral home in Babahoyo, around 129 miles southwest of Ecuador's capital, Quito. Miss Montoya's body has been returned to the same funeral home where she woke up. A technical committee has been formed to review how the hospital issues death certificates, and the country's Ministry of Health said last week. Wow.
Oh my god.
Apologies, I just burped there. But yeah, so
this woman literally defied death twice and did not need any horcruxes or deathly hallows. Huh?
How do you, like... I can't... I'm struggling to get my head around this. How the fuck does a hospital wrongly declare a person dead?
I do not know.
Like, fair enough, the resuscitation efforts never worked, but, like... That must have been a really scary fucking thing at the funeral. No.
Yeah, they got jump scared.
Here we're resting Miss Montoya. What was that, sorry? Is someone knocking on something? Let me fucking out. Like, I just... Wow. What a true hero, though. Defying death and then dying. Rest in peace, man. But, that's mad. Wow.
It's crazy. It's mental.
There's been a current trend in the last 4 stories about health and safety conditions and death and things. Pretty dramatic episodes. Be hard to come up with a title for this one. It was pretty easy last week. Well, it's not last week, but the week before. Red Skies and Bear Theft Auto, but like, what are we gonna do for this one? Dead? Question mark. But I'm sure we'll figure something out. But
Yep.
How did you find the stories this week?
Pretty crazy.
Yeah, I can relate. I had to pick those. It was probably the best stories I could have picked at the time. But yeah, I think it's time for Post of the Week, don't you?
Yep.
So, Post of the Week. I'm going to go first this week because BJ went first last time. And my post, before I continue, sorry, these photos of these posts and the creator will be appropriately, I forgot the word again, credited. And I'll put these posts in the video below so that you can see what we're talking about. My post sort of includes spoilers from Dragon's Rising Part 1, the new Ninjago series. So if you haven't seen that and don't want spoiled, definitely skip ahead about 5 minutes or something. So
to my post of the week.
So my post of the week this week is from Lego DG Studios. If you don't know him, check him out. It'll be linked below, his Instagram and his YouTube. He's just started his Dragon's Rising stop motion series, which I'm in the first episode. So is BJ.
Yep.
So he actually did post two different ones on the same. He posted 2 slides on the same post. But I'm actually only going to be talking about the second post, which is Cornea. It's a really simple post. Again, simplicity works. I like it. So the background of the post is the Kingdom of Madness from the Merged Realms in Dragon's Rising. If you haven't seen it, you were warned about spoilers. This sees Cornea kind of in like a jumping pose, and she has like a kind of water like spiral kind of looping around her, which I think is really cool. I really like how he did that. But yeah, just the lighting and everything. It's just a really good post. I wish I could make posts like that. I mean, I probably could make something similar. I've got Cornea, I've got access to the internet, but you know, it's a very good post. I really like it. You done great, DG. Really love it. And there's not much I can really say other than I just love it because it's so simple, but it's so effective. So yeah,
and it looks really great.
It does look really great as well. He must have spent a little time editing that because there's no way he could get the water so defined in like a 2-minute edit. Like he definitely was like really careful with it, and I really respect him for it because I know how hard it is to edit. I know how hard it is to edit things like on a mobile device, like Photoshop and that.
Me too.
Photoshop and things is not the easiest.
On the phone.
On the phone, yeah. So
I've done it before, and yeah.
That's more or less how I make all my posters, except the Rise of Exxon poster that I made that was actually drawn by myself, because I tried to be different, because not a lot of people draw their own posters, so...
And it's a really good poster.
But yeah, DG will be appropriately credited down below, and well done. I really like it. Do you want to take over now, BJ?
Yeah, sure. So, here is my post of the week. And it's a hand-drawn beating variant of me.
I wonder who did that.
I wonder.
This post will be in the edit below. But I'll let BJ continue because who was the post made by?
Yeah, the reason why I love this is just I don't know why I love it so much, but it looks so cool. Just the little purple glove, I love it. It's shoot accurate to the one in B Team. And I also love how I have the mask on. It's just perfect.
And who's getting the credit for this drawing?
The credit for this drawing is, of course, the homie DB.
That was a pain in the ass to draw. Because I guess I'm gonna weigh in on this and explain the. So, I drew the mask on you because I lost. Well, I didn't lose the face print that I used for you, but I didn't have time to find it. I know where it is now. It was also pretty difficult. It was also pretty difficult because you've got like the Black Panther, one of the Black Panther torsos, so there's like grey like metal details all the way up the torso. But trying to like get them accurately, especially on the profile that I chose to do this character in, it's kind of to the side. It was pretty difficult to draw. And the mask was easier because I'm pretty bad at drawing faces. But I do like how it turned out, and the hair, I'm pretty proud of the hair. I feel like it you know.
Yeah.
It's accurate. It's accurate to the movie J here, in which BJ uses in B Team and Shadowhunters.
Yep.
The belt is the only thing that's not accurate. I didn't want to do more black because I felt it looked kind of like it just looked one thing. So I tried to define it a little bit by giving you the purple belt, and the arms were just Wild Styles arm, just redrawn in my own kind of style. And you obviously have purple gloves, so that's why you've got the purple hand, which could also be taken as using your powers, I guess. But yeah, that's the rundown of the post there. I don't know why I kind of thought you would go for it anyway, because you did change it to your profile picture. And I was kind of like, yeah, I mentioned Dragon Rising spoiling, but BJ kept quiet, 'cause I felt like if you were doing a Dragon Rising post, you'd do the same. But I'm like, no, he's kept quiet. What's this? And then I realised, yeah, I knew what was coming. But yeah, if you wanna give that post some support, I'll link my Instagram in the description below. But I would like to score my post probably a 9 out of 10 for Lego DG. I forgot to mention that earlier. But again, really solid posts. The posts and things in this community, they just keep getting better and better. But yeah, what would you score your post?
What?
What
Was it?
out of 10, 10 being the best, what would you score the post? Don't feel like you have to be brutally honest. Don't just feel like you don't have to be because I'm here.
If I'm honest, it's probably about, let's say, 8.5.
I'll take that. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a good post, but I do feel like the hair needs some work, but you're new to this, so I'll cut you some slack.
You better, or I'm cancelling the podcast. Yeah, I can see it. But yeah, I did my best, and
You did, and
that's what happens. So one more original OG B team member to draw left. You see that post.
awesome.
You see that post tomorrow. And for those wondering, it is the child of the group. The mouth is
God.
fast as lightning, and a voice higher than an addict at the weekends. It's Ash. But speaking of B team, we've got, I think it's time for our little interview with relatively new B team member Keaton.
Yep.
So let's do it. Next up, we've got, as we just said, our guest, Keaton, who's now a member of the B team and one of the main characters in B Team Invasion, which is currently part 1, is currently airing on YouTube. You can find it after this video. Part 2 is releasing mid-June. We're just waiting for some voice actors, aka Brody and Mega, but we'll get it out to you guys as soon as possible. So anything you want to add, BJ, before we get our guest on?
No, nothing really. It's just exciting to have him on the podcast.
You definitely watched his videos though, right? Like you said you would last time?
Yeah, I did.
That's what we like to hear. So, without further ado, we'll let him introduce himself. Here we are. We've got Keaton with us.
Hello, everyone. I'm Keaton, and I run the Keto YouTube channel, and I am here on the podcast, which is pretty epic. Thank you to DB and BJ for inviting me, and I'm going to answer some questions.
So, Keaton, we're going to interview you because it's what most people on famous podcasts do. So, BJ's going to ask you 3 questions, I'm going to ask you 3 questions. Give us your best answer if you can. If you don't know, just make it up, I guess. Nobody can prove you wrong. It's your stuff, your series, your work, your life. So, without further ado, I got BJ with the first question.
So, Keaton, what made you decide to make stop motion?
So back in maybe 2019, I was really inspired by creators like D. Teneglia Studios and AO123 Productions. I really wanted to start my own series, and I just did. I tried to start my series 3 times actually, and I really got the ground rolling, I got it really started the 3rd attempt, and that's the series that's been running since about August of 2020.
So, Keaton, are there any other things you have planned for this season?
So Legacy is the continuation of my series. It's also starting a new series though. It's basically what Dragons Rising is to the original series, but for my own series. And it basically just follows Aaron and Sora as they go around with Lloyd and try to assemble or reassemble the ninja team and also take down the Imperium. The first season of Dragons Rising will have 8 episodes and will be releasing rather soon. I can't give away the exact release date yet, but it will be rather soon. Actually, by the time this goes up, the release date might be revealed. Whatever. But yeah, that's all I can say about Legacy right now.
From all of the time that you have been making stop motions, are there any decisions you regret while making stop motions?
All of Cyber Empire. I made that season on a whim, just because I was just super excited that I got the Empire Temple of Madness set, and I was just like, oh, I want to make a whole series about this. And then I did, and I regret it to this day, because I think it is arguably my worst season.
So, my first question, Keaton, is, can I just say, your whole Crystal King / Aftermath season, top notch. Absolutely loved them. Aftermath on the sense that you abused Lloyd so much, and it just made me so happy. I remember sitting in the premiere going, yes, Lloyd abuse, and everyone's like, but he's my favourite. Why? But I guess off the back of that, is there a favourite character you've got in your series that you just absolutely love writing for? Or is there a character who you hate having to write a story arc for? There might not be. You might love writing everyone's character, but who is your favourite to write and who's your least favourite?
I think my favourite is probably Jay. I really love his personality, and Jay's just always been my favourite ninja since the beginning of the show. As for least favourite to write, that's hard. I'd probably maybe say Zane, mostly because I just keep forgetting to write dialogue for him. I always forget he's there, which kind of sucks, because he's another one of my favorite ninja, and I just always forget that he's in the scene and end up leaving him out. Yeah.
So, it's another kind of Lego-related series question, but when it comes to actually filming, I know I struggle a lot because I don't have a lot of space, and some of the sets are a bit, they can get in the way, So, I guess my question is there a set that you've used in one of your videos before that was just so hard to, animate with? Whether that be a vehicle or, a temple or something, or a dragon? Because I know I struggle a lot with vehicles and dragons because, I don't have a lot of space. Same with big builds. But, smaller, Lloyd's car or like Jay's bike from Crystallized, like I can manage with, but it's like big bastards that I struggle with. So, is there any set that you absolutely hate animating with? And if so, what is it? Tell us the goss.
I'm gonna have to say Ninjago City Gardens, because as much as I love that set, it's my favorite set of all time. It is so frustrating to move around, because you have to take it apart and put it back together all over again, and it just takes a while.
So, my last question for you, Keaton, is, when it comes to animating and things, what do you find is the hardest part, like when it comes to making a video? Is it getting the lighting correct? Is it the actual animation itself? Getting lines from voice actors? Or the actual editing process itself? Because I know that the hardest part for me is getting lines from people. But then again, that's probably my fault for having as many like OC characters in my series. But I don't know. I think you're the same, BJ. You struggle getting, because people are like, yeah, I can do it. But then when you actually like, you ask them, they're like, oh, but I'm busy now. Like, whereas, like, we try and, I know that I sent out all the lines for B-Team Invasion from when it used to be the full movie script at once in February. But obviously I split into two. But I think, Keaton, you and Jade, Fusion, who voices Jade, were and BJ, but BJ's not, he's sort of in part two, but he's not in it the most. But you guys are the only ones who had sent like all the lines at once. No, like I'm not angry, like, you know, I'm not getting annoyed with anyone, like, but it can take a lot longer to produce animations and stuff because of this. So is there anything in terms of animation that you find the hardest when it comes to making your series? And if so, what is that?
Artist. I've always found scripting like really hard, just because like I never have motivation to do it. I really like doing it, but I really never do it. Editing also takes a while, and walk cycles, oddly enough, they just take so long. And that's going to be it for the questions. I want to say thank you to DB and BJ again for inviting me on the podcast. Very fun time, and I'll be seeing you guys. Bye.
Almost didn't click the recording button there, but thank you for coming on there. Thank you for joining us, Keaton. Thank you for your answers to the questions. We hope you had a good time. Anything you want to add, BJ?
Well, it's just been fun asking these questions, getting the answers. And yeah.
Do you hear that? I think it's the woman knocking. It's the woman knocking on her coffin again.
God. God dang. Stop.
But anyway, thank you for joining us there, Keaton. And yeah, if we ever need you again, we'll let you know. But enjoy the rest of whatever you're doing today, Keaton. Thanks for coming on.
Enjoy your day.
See you, buddy. And there we have it. You've reached the end of episode 2 of Into the Shadows with DB and BJ. So, we hope you enjoyed yourself today.
Have had fun?
You know, my airport stories at the start of the episode, or our news with the news stories this week were relatively depressing. And they
were.
We do apologise for that, but we'll try and pick happier ones next time.
I hope we do.
If there's any updates to any of these cases, i.e. they found the submergible thing that's looking for the Titanic that's went missing, we will let you know next week as a quick, why did I go Australian? A quick little, you know, a quick little note just before we continue. But hopefully they find it in the water. You know, I don't know where else it's going to be. It's a submergible underwater sea craft. So, I mean, if it's in space, then if it's in space, we're all fucked. But, I probably shouldn't have made that joke about Miss Montoya and her coffin knocking, but it was the latest of what I could find. I'll try to get an animal story for you next week, because they're always fun.
They are. Just like the bear just guarding the car. He got scared off.
This is a quick intermission from Future DB. I've just finished editing the episode, and we just want to let you know that our new release date will be Tuesday for every episode. So we aim to release every Tuesday from the weeks going on. And as past me said, I'll try to find some animal stories for next week's episode.
He was just doing his job as a security guard.
And
come on.
Next week, I was actually thinking about adding in a new section I would need to run by you before we continue. But basically what it would be like a funny ass video, whether that be like a TikTok or something. Not too sketchy, but just funny, that we'd react to, and kind of like post of the week, but just to give you all a bit of a laugh, because I know that this was pretty depressing this week. But we hope you enjoyed our post of the week. Again, mine's from Lego DG Studios, who will be credited appropriately down below. And BJ's was from...
mine is from the man himself, Danger Buff, DB.
Oh, what can I say? I'll not credit myself, because that would be bias. But I will link my social media platforms below so that you guys can follow me there. And yeah, we hope you enjoyed Keaton's interview. We hope you enjoyed having a guest on. But it wasn't the most ethical way, let's just say that. It's different time zones and just being a bit dodgy, but we got something.
Man, we invented them.
We got something. And we're happy to announce that our guest for next week is the one, the only SB Zeal, who is an absolute legend in this Ninjago community. Like, I can't, he's voiced in so many of my projects, and I just can't say how grateful I am. But more about Zeal next week. Anything you want to add, BJ, before we sign out?
No, not really. We're definitely gonna enjoy having Zeal next week.
We did definitely enjoy having Keaton on as well. Don't worry. But Keaton is also a legend. Don't let him forget that. We'll link his channel below as well, and his Instagram. But I've got nothing else to say, so that's DB signing off. Peace out, guys.
This is BJ signing off, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.